Welcome to the European cars that we would not recommend and wouldn't buy under any circumstance at all.
It's kind of a part two to the European cars we would buy because we, in the past, have got a lot of heat about being anti-Euro.
And the thing is, we're not anti-Euro cars. There's
Not
a
at all.
bunch of Euro cars that we personally would buy and would recommend. Go watch that.
Yeah.
What we just generally find is that a lot of European cars, especially here in Australia with the premiums that parts cost and what labour can charge, if they haven't been cared for fastidiously, they just don't seem to be as resilient as a lot of the Japanese and Korean counterparts.
Yeah. So this is like a part two.
Yeah. These are the worst of the bunch.
Yep.
These are the ones that, you should just not
Just
go
absolute
near.
dogs. So we'll start with small cars.
Yeah, okay.
You go.
I've got a few picks here, unfortunately. Volkswagen Polo and Golf with that god-awful 1.4 twin charge
twin charge,
engine.
yeah.
Why is that such a terrible engine?
It's unnecessarily complicated for a start. The turbocharged and supercharged, there's all sorts of mechanisms to go from one to the other, and they're just unnecessarily complicated. And I don't know if they rush the development. I don't know what the reason is, but they are very problematic, and they're just a dog.
Yeah, absolute
really
crap. I'm going to push this as well to go. Would not go near. I feel terrible for saying this because I have so many friends that own this car. Mark 7 and 7.5 Golf in general. There are thousands out there that have owners that have never had a problem and will never ever have a problem. But the issue is all of my friends that own them, they've all had ongoing issues all the time, to the point that 2 of them at the moment are currently selling them as they're just sick and tired of having to pay for water leak issues, electronic issues, infotainment issues.
And when you look at other cars in that sector that on paper are just the same type of thing that just have nowhere near the amount of problems.
No.
That's why like as you said, there are plenty of people who have no problems, but it's on this list because a lot of people do.
Yeah, and I just don't see it. For me, the 7.5 Golf, it doesn't offer any other advantage over a Mazda 3 or a Corolla or an i30 or a Cerato. No. The only advantage you get is the brand name image bullshit, which you're better than that. You're not.
Let's face it.
You are better than that.
They just do not compare to a Corolla.
Although one caveat on the Mark 7 and 7.5 Golf, I'm going to exclude GTI R and All-Track out of this because at least those have something about them that makes them either exciting or a little bit, I don't know, there's
a point of difference there between them and a Corolla, for example, one which we're comparing the ordinary Golf. But they're okay. They're worth it because they're different.
Yeah. But if we're talking like 90 TSI, 110 TSI, the standard Golfs, no. Also, I know this technically... it's sort of European, but it's not. It's
European
Ford
enough.
Europe, even though Ford is an American company. But the Fiesta, or really any Ford with their dual clutch auto, that was a disaster. That's a well-documented disaster.
Yeah. My pick on the small car list is the C3 Citroën.
Why?
Because they have all of the problems all of the time.
Yeah.
From oil leaking, oil consumption, just general timing chain issues. They're just a horrible thing. They're just put together poorly. Everything just falls off and falls apart around you. I got a few customers that have them, and some love them weirdly, and others can't sell them because they're always broken.
Also, they depreciate like they're driven off a cliff. The cost of parts is expensive. The cost of maintenance is expensive because accessing certain things can be a real nightmare. So you've got a car that's constantly depreciating at a ridiculous rate. Parts are expensive. Maintenance is expensive. What's the point?
I don't know.
Like it doesn't. And again, it doesn't offer anything.
Terrible support network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks a bit funky, and it's got a bit of a funky name to it. Besides that, it has no other advantage over any other more traditional Japanese or Korean small car. I don't see it. Why?
Stay away.
You really got to be a fan to buy one. Okay. Okay, let's go medium cars. Me or you first? What do you?
You go. You go.
I hate to say this because, again, one of my best mates owns one and he's had nothing but problems with it. Jaguar XE. Beautiful looking car, but that's where it ends.
Yeah.
There are so many issues with this.
Yeah.
Again, cost of parts, crazy. Cost of maintenance, crazy. Cost of repairs, crazy.
Yeah.
Constantly depreciating.
Electrical complications, engine issues, they're
It's just
to stay away.
You're paying for a beautiful design.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it looks great when it's sitting in your garage or mechanic's workshop.
I don't even know if they even look that great to me.
Yeah, I like the way they look.
It's subjective, but you're wrong. But anyway, I think they're plain, but whatever.
And also the competition.
Yeah.
There's so many other cars you can buy. Like a Mazda 6 is, I think, as beautiful.
Yeah,
Especially put some nice wheels on it.
Yeah.
Lower it this much, it looks amazing. Super reliable. It's just as nice to drive.
Not the diesel though.
No, not the diesel.
Don't
Don't
work
go
on
near the
diesel.
diesel. Okay, it's not rear-wheel drive like the Jag, but
It's funny, people say that Mazda has Euro styling.
Yeah,
Well, it does.
I don't see that. You should not ever buy one.
Yeah, not at all.
Your pick?
My pick is another Citroen C5. They're just a donkey. The hydropneumatic suspension is always problematic. They leak oil. They're just, again, everything just falls off them. One of the models has an AJD V6 diesel, which is that Ford-derived diesel, which is problematic. They're just a terrible car, and no support, no parts available, no dealership support. They're just depreciation.
Yeah.
They're just a huge red flag.
Okay, then large/luxury cars. This is amazing because Jim and I had a few different options for all the categories, but this is the one that we unanimously went, oh my God, no. What an absolute...
Well, firstly, there's not a lot of vehicles in this sector because so many manufacturers have gone to SUVs or wagons. So there's a small group in here, but without a doubt, we definitely agreed. Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz S-Class, the W220, 221 and 222. Oh, wow. But the 220.
Yeah.
So this was a point when Mercedes, it was all about getting shareholders' returns rather than putting money into research and development and build quality. These are shit. These are properly shit cars. Even the more recent ones, like we filmed an S-Class. It was my best mate's dad's car, and the thing is riddled with issues. And it has been maintained. It's a one-owner car. It bought it brand new, and it's just...
We actually serviced that car recently.
Yeah,
it's got a fuel leak we need to get it back for, and it's got a ball joint that's worn out. We've got to get it back for, but it doesn't have that many Ks on it.
No.
And it's like, why is there's so many things wrong with that car.
Is the leather still peeling off the dash?
Oh, yeah.
Are the door cards all still squeaking?
It's still rattling. There's bits falling off it everywhere, yeah.
Are half the electronics not working anymore?
Pretty much.
Yep. Yeah. It's, I think Mercedes market the S-Class as being the pinnacle of automotive, and it might be when it's brand spanking new and has a full warranty, but give it a couple of years and...
Another case of a premium brand not being a premium product, sorry.
No. But those W220, that whole era, don't buy. Massive depreciation.
Up there with the best.
Yeah, huge expense on cost of parts. It's the same old thing, but just shit car.
Yeah.
If you want to buy one of those, just buy a Lexus LS.
Yeah.
It does everything better than the S-Class, and it's going to be cheaper to maintain.
Never break down.
Yeah. Okay, small SUVs. You go first.
Gen 1 Tiguan. Just a terrible car. Everything breaks on them. Yeah. They leak oil. They're terrible. Everything goes wrong with them. Everything. I don't need to specify. They're just terrible. The other one on my list is a Renault Koleos.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of Nissan X-Trail in there, but Nissan X-Trail is a better car in a lot of ways, but the Koleos is just... I think all the things that make it a Renault are the shit things. There's a whole bunch of complications with it.
We need to get one on, because we've had a few requests to do a Koleos. We need to get one on. I had one as a press car when it was new, and I was really impressed when it was new. Again, under warranty. It was a beautiful car to drive.
Can I tell a little story about a Koleos servicing thing? We had one in the workshop a while back just for service, and we had to put rear brakes in it, and they've got the typical caliper where you have to put them into service mode and they wind back off. Spontaneously, for no reason whatsoever, it just went out of service mode, wound the calipers out to the point where it popped the pistons out, and when we all put it back together and tried to get it working, we'd learned that the control module for the electronic park brake had just spontaneously shit itself.
Wow.
And it was very expensive to fix. Now, this started out as just a routine brake job. There was nothing in the workshop that we did that was outside the normal routine of this or the procedure. It just lost its mind halfway through the process.
Oh, great.
It was a shit show.
Talking about shit shows, Range Rover Evoque. What a shit car.
Shit show.
I had the misfortune of driving one recently, and I just scratched my head going, what am I not getting here? What do I not understand? The horrific reputation for reliability, massive depreciation, expensive parts.
Everything goes wrong.
Yeah. I think, we haven't featured one on the channel yet, but I know enough from friends in the know and that have worked on them, and you've worked on them.
Plenty.
Yeah, this is a world of hurt. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Super unreliable.
Yeah. I'm kind of lost for words about the Evoque.
Yeah. Nice looking.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I just feel bad for people buy into them going, oh yeah, Range Rover and cool image and whatnot, not knowing what they're buying into. It's just a world of hurt. I'm sure there are probably several owners out there in the world that haven't had a problem.
I doubt it.
But bad.
Yeah. Now, if you're looking to buy any of these cars and if you're looking at finance, hit the driver link below.
Yeah, Driver will find you the very best possible finance from stacks of different lenders. The entire process is done online. It's easy, it's free, it's going to have no impact on your credit score, and you can get pre-approval in no time. Medium SUV sort of world.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the Range Rover thing. The Land Rover Discovery Sport. We've got one coming on the channel soon. These have just got a shockingly bad reputation.
Yeah, the whole Ingenium engine that they use is just problematic. Everywhere you look, there's issues. Yep.
I had a press car, and even the press car I had back in the day, it had a few little electronic gremlins going on as a press car, as a brand new car.
Yeah.
Again, huge depreciation. It's the same old thing. Huge depreciation, huge cost of parts, maintenance issues, not designed to last.
Another manufacturer leveraging their reputation from 40 years ago. It's all nostalgia. I don't know why people buy them.
Yeah, it is just marketing hype. It is marketing hype. Like it was. That's the thing as well. It was nice to drive. It was a really nice thing to drive.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but I didn't drive it going, oh my god.
I think it's one of those.
This is incredible.
Yeah. No. Well, I think it's one of those cases where if you make something super expensive, people just assume that it's good.
Yeah.
And I think they've just done that.
Yeah.
And people are buying it.
And look, I get it has genuine off-roading shops, but how many people buying this category of car are actually going to climb Everest in their car?
Yeah, no one takes them off-road.
It's not going to happen.
No,
so terrible. You go next because I've got a rant coming up.
Okay. In this category, I chose Merc GLC. We did a video on one of those.
Yeah.
You should go and watch it, and that will totally underwrite everything I'm saying here. They're just a terrible car. And the other one I picked was it is European, but it's kind of not. It's the Fiat Fremont.
Yeah, which is a Dodge Durango,
something like that. I can't remember. Dodge something. But fun fact, Australia sells about 1.3 million cars a year, I think, and has done forever. When you look online, of all the Dodge Fremonts you can buy in Australia, there are actually only 69 of them for sale. That's one of our main, used car sort of classified sites. There's 69 of them on the market, all very cheap.
Very cheap.
All very ugly, but that is, for a whole bunch of reasons, that's just no.
Don't buy one.
No.
Do not buy one. No. Even if someone's willing to pay you to take it, don't buy it because you'll still be out of pocket at the end of the day.
You're not going to be able to get parts for it. Very, very poor support network. There'll be no parts in Australia for that car.
Actually, that was one. I remember we featured it recently in a video, and that was one of the things that, like, even within owners groups, sort of saying there are like critical parts that they just can't access. You just can't get them.
That happens with all cars, but when you're talking about a car like this, where there are only a handful of them in any given region,
Yeah. Yep. My final pick for this category is the god-awful BMW X6, but in xDrive 35D form. All right, this is a rant warning. Not only is this a horrifically ugly car, what the hell's the point of buying an SUV that's trying to look like a sports car, but then you go and buy it with the least inspiring engine? This is the car version of elderly people that get way too much plastic surgery. It's like, it's all about the image. They don't give a crap what's going on inside. It's just like, well, how do I project some kind of essence of wealth and sportiness?
I'm going to say that every one of them that was ever sold, it was from the showroom floor. Someone's walked in who's not a car person, and they're gone, oh, that's different. I like that. I'll have that. Not having a clue what they're getting. That's my call.
But just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Well, good point.
These are shit. I don't understand. How can anyone, like, I know looks are supposed to be subjective, but I can't see how anyone can see that and go, yeah, it's a good looking thing. X6, but it's, as I said, especially in xDrive 35D form.
Yeah.
Why?
No, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Also, from an objective point of view, those engines are not great. Oil leaks, plastics issues, cost of parts, depreciation, again, all the usual typical stuff. But you're not even left with a car that's any good.
No. No, I don't get it. The whole X6 shape, I don't get it.
I wouldn't go anyone.
Is it the ugliest BMW ever made, excluding
That's a hard one
excluding
now.
anything made in the last 3 or 4 years. Just the overall shape of it. That's why.
Yeah, they're responsible. I just don't. I'm not a fan of the coupe sporty SUV thing. I think it's a stupid thing.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay. Large SUV. Again, this is a unanimous one between Jim and I.
Yeah.
God, these are horrible. We featured one of these and it was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was terrible through the research we've done.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz GL, which
What
is the
a donkey.
X164.
Yeah.
X164, whatever it is.
Now, European, but made in Alabama.
Yeah. There's nothing European
the way,
about this.
No.
Except for that Mercedes is a German company.
Yeah, German
this is
brand.
an American vehicle. And it's just horrible.
And not ragging on American vehicles. That's a whole other video.
Yeah.
But this car certainly doesn't live up to any reputation that Merc ever had.
No.
Like everything goes wrong. The air suspension is terrible. The electronics are terrible. Nothing works in them.
Yeah.
Everything you need to buy is eye-wateringly expensive.
Yep.
Every warning light in the world comes on all the time, and
Yep.
every time you take it to the dealership to get it fixed, it's going to cost you $5,000, and that'll be at least once, maybe twice a year.
Yep. The one we filmed, after we filmed it, it had all sorts of issues. Like there were so many like weird electrical things that on the day we shot it, things worked, and then the next day, like certain things just stopped working, and then some of them kind of came back to working okay. But like if you're looking at a $4,000, I don't know, thing that you bought on the side of the road, you can kind of excuse those things.
Yeah.
But when it's this, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 German in huge inverted commas luxury SUV with a schmancy badge on it, that stuff just shouldn't go wrong. It should be bulletproof, and it's just not.
And the car's got no endearing features. Like
No.
you can put up with the shortcomings of a car if it's really, really good at something. These things don't look good, they don't off-road well, they're not economical, there's nothing else going for them that would make you suffer all that pain.
Even the on-road driving characteristics, it's nothing special. It wasn't bad to drive, but it certainly wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. This is wow.
Yeah.
I'm in opulence here. No, it was no better than a Hyundai Santa Fe.
I was going to say comparable to a Toyota Kluger.
Oh yeah, like a Kluger, a Kluger is easily in the same kind of ballpark. Yeah, it's I challenge. I would love to have the ability to do this. Anyone that's a fan of these pieces of shit, I'd love to find a way to cover up the badges or cover up the interior so they don't actually know who made
What
it
it is they're driving.
and take them out in a 7-seat Santa Fe, a Kluger, and a shit GL, and see if they can actually pick the difference. And I doubt you could.
That'd be fun.
Yep.
Now, all of these cars we've mentioned, the good ones and the bad ones, they all need wipers too, and there's really no need to cheap out.
Yeah, exactly. If you hit the Wipertech link below, you're going to get 15% off and free express shipping on some of the best wiper blades we've ever used. We genuinely use them on all of our cars. Plus, they're easy to order online, they're easy to fit, and they wipe bloody brilliantly. Hit the Wipertech link down there. Performance cars. Let's go performance cars. What European performance cars would you not go near with a 10-foot barge pole?
Well, this kind of touches the last category. I've got X5 and X6M on here.
Oh, yeah.
This X6, obviously, because they're hideous.
Yeah.
But X5, they're inherently unreliable. They're not fast.
I don't really get it. I don't really see.
Yeah. And depreciation is just remarkable on those.
Yeah.
Just terrible investment.
Yep.
The other one I have on here, which is not really a sports car, although some owners think they are, it's the Peugeot RCZ, which has got the nicest roof in the industry, I'm going to say.
Yeah, great
The
roof.
whole roof line,
Yeah.
look at it online, they're lovely shape,
Yeah.
really beautiful design,
Yeah.
but that's where it ends for these cars. Again, it's not really a sports car, but as I said, some people think they are, but they're just full of problems. All the Peugeot issues from that engine family, all of the oil leaks, all of the plastic bits just spontaneously falling off the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
It's funny. The one we shot, the owner was a super lovely guy, and he did all the preventative maintenance. Basically, it was almost like a full engine pull down and just fixed everything before it went wrong.
Yeah.
And obviously that costs thousands of dollars, and that's cool. But my issue with it is I kind of go, yeah, but then you're still left with a car that it is more reliable than what it would be if you didn't do those things. Yeah. But I'm still not really getting what it offers that a bunch of other more reliable options could offer.
Yeah.
I think you could get a Lexus RC350 F Sport, which
if you're going Euro, you'd probably get a a TT.
Yeah, you
maybe.
get a TT. Yeah. I think I rate Peugeot for having a proper go design wise. I think it's fantastic design wise,
Yeah.
and I personally really love the vibe of the RCZ. But I just. Yeah, it feels like a concept car that they didn't quite get right
it's
when
a
it came to
turd.
production.
And the other one, the last one I've got on my list is the Merc SLC.
Yep.
Not an inherently bad car, but one of the highest rate of depreciation of any car in this category.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's another one where I just sort of go, all right. So you want a convertible with 2 doors, rear wheel drive, small.
Can't afford a RCZ Peugeot.
Well, that's front wheel drive.
Yeah, true.
But if you want a rear wheel drive 2-door convertible that's small, it's just got to be an MX-5.
Does got to be, doesn't
Just
it?
buy an MX-5.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Again, I'm not seeing, except for the brand name.
Excluding our rules about buying only Euro for this video.
Yeah.
But why anyone would buy that car when Miata exists?
I don't get
Or
it.
S2000.
I don't understand.
No.
My ones on the performance cars that you should not buy, that we wouldn't buy, Jaguar F-Type, specifically with the 2-litre engine. It's just that horrible Ingenium engine. I've driven this car, and yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. What am I not getting? Can someone explain to me what I'm not understanding? Because it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to be in. But to drive, I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not really. There's a bunch of other cars. There's a bunch of front-wheel drive hot hatches that are a better driving car than that.
No doubt.
So I don't really get why you'd buy it, and especially considering the immense depreciation and the long list of common issues they can have. So I don't get that. And also, this one's from a dear friend of mine. It was actually my boss for a little while. Bentley Continental, the 2-door coupe.
Why?
So talk about depreciation. To give you an idea, I'm checking this out. So you're looking at about $500,000 brand new in 2008.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's actually more than that. We're talking Continental with no options, which none of them have no options.
Right.
You more realistically, with on-road cost, luxury car tax, you're looking around the $600,000 mark. You can buy one of those now for $65,000. That's a loss of over $25,000 a year
That's
in
insane.
depreciation. Now, the one my former boss had, the suspension had multiple failures to the point she came out of shopping one day and the whole car had just dropped itself on the ground.
Stance mode.
Would not go back up. She came out to her garage one day and one side had dropped down, so one side wouldn't pick up. Then the back of it dropped down. There were constant electronic issues with it, and every time Bentley came to pick it up and they had the chat, apparently the guy at Bentley was like, it's Bentley things.
Normal
Just
Bentley
these
things.
things happen. You wouldn't get that in like a Toyota Echo. So it shouldn't happen in a Bentley. So
No.
I think I would never buy one. I don't get it.
No.
The cost of parts is insane. There's no longevity to it. I know it's not a performance car. I know it's like a luxury GT cruiser thing, but
I want to know if any car person in the history of time has ever bought one of those cars. Car person.
yeah, I don't know.
Money people, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But not car people. I don't think any car people ever buys a Bentley.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think that's going into that realm where you're not so much into cars and engineering and the driving experience. You're more into showing off how much money you've got.
Definitely.
And, it's one of those things where it's. I don't know if that floats your boat. If you're a brand name person that wants to spend $12,000 on a handbag and $10,000 on a pair of shoes, all right. I don't really.
Yeah,
don't
sorry,
really
but
buy
I
into
don't think
that.
we can be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, not.
It's funny in the YouTube and social media realm. There's this kind of like, that's a thing. I like being part of the group that's like, that's not a thing. You're
not
being
at
a
all.
wanker.
Yeah. So there it is.
There we go. We covered this in the ones we would buy. Let's just go fantasy world.
Oh,
And this
okay.
isn't for any objective reason why you shouldn't buy it, because if you're going to buy a supercar, you're going to buy a supercar. In that supercar crazy north of $500,000 realm, are there any cars in that category that you just go, yeah, no, God, no, I am not doing that?
I think supercars are sort of they've nearly always got a redeeming feature. A lot of supercars, I'm not even going to talk about reliability and depreciation,
No one
because if
cares.
it's a supercar,
No
it's
one
going to
cares.
have something going for it. I don't think there's any I would avoid specifically, though. What about you? Not that I can think of.
I don't like brightly coloured Lamborghinis. I don't like a Aventador in green.
I get that. Yeah.
There's a lot of supercars that just do absolutely nothing for me. The supercars that I really like are generally old.
Yeah.
Or they're super special. They're like a Pagani or I feel when it's a hypercar, Koenigsegg, Pagani, that stuff, I go, wow. The Gordon Murray T50, I'd have one of those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But when it's like SF90 Ferraris and a lot of Ferraris and Lamborghinis, I just
A bit too showy.
it's too shouty. Yeah.
But any that fit in that category, I'll avoid. But not from a mechanical engineering or performance perspective. It's just not my vibe.
No, it just does nothing for me. Anyway, they're the Euro cars that you should definitely not buy. Or
not all of the Euro cars you should avoid. There are plenty more, but that's just some of them.
They're the worst of the lot. If you haven't checked out the ones that we totally would get, and very would recommend, very would highly recommend.
Give us your examples of utter, shit show European car ownership experiences.
Actually, what would you 100% get
avoid,
and what would you avoid? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you soon.